Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ali Bakir, and today we are going to discuss about some important terms or related to the herald painters. So first of all, I want to discuss with you the focus of the triangular character. So what is actually the focus of the triangular character? So before moving toward this, I want to tell you something about his techniques. So we will see that after closely examine the works of the herald painters, you will be able to know that herald painters mostly use the triangular character in his work. Triangular characters in his work, like you can take the example from the birthday party, caretakers, dumb waiters. These are the most eminent play of herald painters. So in these plays you will see that his plays actually start with the three character, and with the passage of the time the relationship between characters is going toward the wrong, and is going toward the change, and in the end of the play the third characters feel the isolation and the loneliness. So isolation is most important terms that he used in his work. Second most important thing is that his characters always have nothing performed in the play. The third important thing is that you will see that there will be no actions between his characters during the play. Like you can take the example of the Samuel Beckett's play Waiting for Godot. The same thing that actually happen in this in his writing techniques. In the Waiting for the Godot, there will be no actions, repetition of the words, repetition of the actions are there, but there are no new actions in the Waiting for the Godot. So next is the focus on the small talk. So he actually used the focus on the small talks. Because of that he has already selected the silence and the pause in his writing. Silence and pause actually indicates the innermost conflicts in his writing. So that's why he used the pause. So this pose is actually called the painter's pose. So painter pose is mostly used for showing the realism of that time. So that was about the focus of the triangular character. No, I want to tell you something about the style and its characteristics, use of the repetition, irony, and the semantic ambiguity. First of all, I want to tell you about the repetition of the repetition. So repetition is most important thing. I don't want to tell you about the definition of the repetition, because we all know about the definition of the repetition. So I just want to tell you about the techniques, yeah, style that painter used in his writing about the repetition. So repetitions is totally found in this writing via the repetition of the action, via the repetition of the words. You can take the example of the dumb waiters that I earlier show the about this decade. That is the most eminent work of the herald painter. So in the dumb waiters, you can take the you can see that the most eminent characters of the dumb waiter, I'm talking about the Astons and the Mick. They actually try to makes the unique it other than the absurd play. So if we talk about the silence, if we talk about the silence, because so before moving toward the silence, I want to tell you something, another example of the dumb waiters, where dumb waiters. So after evaluating the dumb waiter, we will see that at the start and the end of the before starting and ending of the novel, of the ending of the play, you will see that um, the Ben, that is the most eminent characters, most important characters. So Ben expressed the outrage at the article in the newspaper, while Gus sympathizes. So similar repetition mark the action throughout his play. So that was about the repetition. Now I want to tell you about the irony. So irony is also the most important techniques, just style that he used in his work. Like you can take the example from the same novel, Damn Waiter, from the same play, Damn Waiter. So in the Dumb Waiters, he used the irony. None of he used the irony. Rather than he also used the rest of the examples here, techniques of the irony. Just like you can take the example, you will see that he also used the situational irony, dramatic irony, and the verbal irony in the work of the Dumb Waiter. In the work of the Dumb Waiter. So And next is the semantic ambiguity. So if we evaluate about the semantic ambiguity, then we will see that he also known as he also known for his the magnificent use of the language. So actually he is also use the colloquial type of the language, and some other important जो critics say about this he also use the illogical syntax and the unpolished grammar structure in his writing techniques. So that was about the painter style characteristics. So now I'm telling you about the main theme of his work. So the power of the isolation, the power of the relation, the theme of the isolation, problem of the relation, the problem of inability, yeah, people's inability to communicate, yeah, silence. So these are the most important themes. So first I want to tell you about the theme of the relation. So theme of the relation is most eminent. अच्छा, theme of the relation की बात करते हैं तो theme of the relation as ancient as the man. Okay, so theme of the isolation, you will able to understand clearly about this. We can take the example of the caretaker, another important work. So in the caretaker, Harold Painter actually tried to explore the deeper existential angle to unravel through the Davis, Mick, and the Davis, Mick हो गया, and Estons. So these are the triangular type of the work of the caretakers. So we can take the example. So in this work he actually explored the nature of the human relation is based on the greedy and the concerned sort of the power. So this was about the power of the relation. Now I want to tell you the theme of the isolation. So theme of the isolations is also the well known theme of his work. Like you can take the example of the caretaker. So in the caretaker you will be able to know that the most eminent writer, most eminent character, your most important characters are feel the isolation and the loneliness in this work. So next is कि the problem of the relation नहीं है यहाँ पर, तो मैं इसके बारे में बताता जाऊँ कि the problem of the identity है word यहाँ पर. So problem of identity. I'm really sorry to say because my writing is too much weak. So in this sense, so problem of identity के बारे में अगर बताता जाऊँ तो problem of identity is another important theme. You can take the example from the caretaker. So we have seen that the caretakers writers have unseen their identity. The problem is that that was the time of the war. So almost entire the society feel the scattered through the World War II. So he also, that's why he touched these techniques in his writing. But remember one thing always in mind, that Harold Painter has totally against the problem of the war. So has strongly against the war. So next is the people's inability to communicate. So if we talk about the people's inability to communicate, so in this theme I just want to tell you that unwillingness of the communication, yeah, lack of communication is also found in this work. You can take the example from the caretaker. So the most eminent work I have so many times discussed about this case, that is the most eminent work. So Painter in this work you can take the example Aston and the Mick. He tried to explore, yeah, he tried to make it unique than the other upsets play. So the power of the silence and pause is non-verbal speaking, and Painter actually knew about this, that this is actually the most powerful weapon than the words themselves. So because I have already told you about the painters use the pause and the silence to show the innermost conflict of the characters. Next is award, कि उसने award हासिल क्या किया. So we have already knew that he he received almost 50 awards throughout of his life. like you can take the example Tony Awards. So Tony Awards he received from his most important play, and most is also most famous play, The Homecoming, that was written in 1967. So next is the Laurence Olivier and the David Cohenson Prize and the Nobel Prize. Yes, Nobel Prize. So Nobel Prize he actually received in 2005. The question is this: why he received the Nobel Prize? So who is in his place? Uncover the precipice under the everyday's prattle, and the focuses and the forces entry into the operation closed room. So that was about the awards of the Herald Painter. So I hope so you understand very well. If you understand, then please don't forget to subscribe, like and share our channel with other peers.